8,000 tangents later.
All right, we're live. We're officially live.
Hey
Hi,
guys,
everyone, and welcome.
what's going on tonight, guys? Thanks for joining us. Sorry we're giggling. We're just we've both just like had a day and like needed to laugh a little bit and just kind of enjoy each other's company before we started the call. So, thanks for joining us, guys. Welcome to Wine Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. We got a lot of good stuff to cover tonight. So, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, click subscribe. If you like what you're watching tonight, give us a like or share it. And thanks for spending your Wednesday night with us.
Yeah, guys. Hi. Yeah, sorry that we're laughing. Jem and I always get together and like chit chat before we actually go on these. So we have all these windows open and we're just acting like fools. So we needed that tonight. Welcome to Wine Wednesday. Welcome to the Mystic Mages. For anyone who's brand new to us, I am Mary, and that beautiful girl over there is Jem, and we are your Mystic Mages. We are the two magical misfits teaching you how to lighten the fuck up. And that's what we're doing right now, is we're lighting the fuck up a little bit because it's been some heavy energy, a lot of things going on. So we're hanging out, we're having a good time, we're gonna be laughing a lot tonight. We're gonna be talking a little bit about what's going on, how to be successful this year, and maybe how to deal with some of the bullshit that might be coming up right now. So we're gonna dive into all of that. And welcome to Wine Wednesday. This is live every Wednesday where we get to drink a little bit, talk to you a little bit, talk to you. So like Jem said, down below, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when we go live, and make sure you leave us comments. We're live right now and I can see everything that you guys post. So go ahead and say hi, send us your questions, let us know where you're calling from, all of that. And any Charmed Life members, go ahead and say hi to us because you're a special shout out and we love you. And we're so excited to start off for 2019 with you guys. So excited.
I'm super excited. I think that, I don't know, everybody is feeling a major shift in energy. And I think that Mary and I were laughing a lot because she's feeling a little under the weather. You know, I was feeling a little under the weather not too long ago. So there's a little bit of energy sick going on that also has to deal with all of this positivity and all of this like awesome healing that we're doing. So we just needed to laugh about a little bit of the bullshit that we've been going through, but in the best way possible. I feel like 2019, it's a 3-year, it's the year of the Trinity, you know, it's the maiden, mother, and crone. Like, it is what we've been waiting for. It is just like all this beautiful energy that's hitting us right now, where I think we're really leaving what needs to stay in the past behind us. And so it's a little scary moving into new territory, but we're just healing and growing so much in the process. So I'm excited to see where it takes us, guys.
I'm so excited too, but I think it's really funny because this is what we were just talking about. But, you know, I have been calling in a lot of things in my personal life and just, you know, wanting to get my business a little bit better and just doing the things that I want to do. And today's only the second, and all these things are kind of happening and aligning and doing great. And I'm freaking out. And I think this is a really common thing that happens to a lot of people. So you set down, you create your goals, you're so excited for the new year. These are all the things you want. These are the things you want to accomplish. But when you actually start to accomplish them, they're a little bit scary. Things are moving really, really fast. Things are moving at a pace even I didn't really expect. I think they are for you too. Things are just kind of going like super fast right now. And it's like all good. It's all for the right reasons. But it's weird how sometimes we react in fear, even though it's something that we truly want. So I think we're going to dive into that a little bit today, talk about what's been going on in the energy and kind of how to deal with some of the things. But before we jump in, it's Wine Wednesday. We have to talk about what we're drinking. So Jem, what are you drinking today?
All right, guys. Well, tonight I am keeping it classy with some Kim Crawford. It is a Sauvignon Blanc, which is like probably my favorite white wine. So I was really excited to drink this. My lovely client, Dana, who is like now one of my dear friends, got me that for Christmas. She's always very thoughtful every year and remembers me. So I appreciate that. And cheers to you, girl. And cheers to you all.
Beautiful. Cheers to everyone. I'm doing something a little bit strange today because, like Jem said, I'm not feeling great, but I'm still hardcore. So I'm drinking just straight coffee, and then I'm putting some rum chata shots into it because I didn't want to like not be a part of this, but I still wanted a warm drink. So that's what I'm drinking.
Yeah, girl. Oh my God. Do you remember when the Christmas that we went up to the Poconos and we just had our like impulse weekend away in the Poconos and we just drank Irish coffees at the bar like, the entire night? Like, all night.
Yeah. I I was telling that story to someone and I was like, it was one of the most romantic nights that I've ever had in my life. And they're like, because they knew that I have been with my partner for a long time, and they're like, ever. And I was like, no, no, no. Well, one time we went up to Estes Park and it was snowing and it was beautiful. And I was like, no, wait, that was with Jem too. Both of my most romantic times were with you.
I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say we've kind of like been through
Yeah.
the war together and we've had some really magical moments together too. So, the universe has a great way of balancing things out.
It's true. We got lost shopping in the Poconos, rented a shady hotel overnight so we could shop more, and had basically the best time of our lives. Saying, Sonny and Cher, I got you, babe, karaoke to a standing ovation. It
Oh,
was amazing.
every time I hear that song, I think of you. Because that was one of my most romantic moments.
Not your wedding, not your engagement. Me and you in some dive bar in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Dude, it was the best ever.
Or Wilkes-Barre, wherever we were. It was obnoxious, wherever we were.
Yeah, I think we were like East Stroudsburg-ish. It's wherever those outlets are in the Poconos. So for anybody local,
so
to give you guys the idea.
Anyone who's out there, we shout out to you, special little Pennsylvania love. We don't have many people from Pennsylvania, but those, you know who you are.
Oh, yeah. Always in our hearts.
So let's dive a little bit into 2018 and just kind of wrap that up, because we've done a bunch of lives, a bunch of calls with you guys through 2018, but I think the energy is really coming to a close. So as my star goddess over there, really, what are we closing down in 2018 that's leading into 2019? Give us some of that star speak that you do. That's so beautiful.
So I think at this point, we're moving through all these portals, right? So we had for so long now, the energy has been shifting. We've been feeling the change kind of slowly but steadily. And now like the universe has just gone and like dumped everything forward. So as you said, when sometimes you have that fear, that like knee-jerk reaction of, oh, I'm not ready for this change, but at the same time, it's the best. It's like what you've been waiting for. So I think that's where we're at now. We had to really go through, and we're still healing some deep shit. There's still some things that we have just stripped away layers. We are feeling lighter. We are feeling more and more like ourselves now at this point. And I think that we're leaving behind guilt. We're leaving behind fear. We're leaving behind manipulation. We're leaving behind a lot of those lower vibrational, more 3D sort of like ego-centered energies. And we're coming more from a place of heart, and we're coming more from a place of intuition. And we're kind of, which we've talked about in the past, learning how to distinguish, the difference between the two. Because I think that is the biggest challenge for so many people when they're on this journey at all points, because it's never a straight line. It's always like this, right? So I think there's always times that we're gonna veer off course in our own way, even if we're not really veering off course. There's just some sort of lesson that we have to learn in the process. So I think at this point, as we were saying before, we're kind of able to, I don't know, like almost like wrap our arms around ourselves and give ourselves a hug, where we can kind of like, we're having a hard time dealing with all this shit, but we're viewing ourselves in a new light, where before, we were kind of viewing ourselves through 3D goggles. We were viewing ourselves through lower vibrational feelings and expectations. And, am I good enough? What kind of me am I supposed to be? Like, how are people going to be receptive of me? I think especially when people are so sensitive, we're empaths. We can already hear and think and feel what other people are feeling. So we're taking on all this energy all the time. And before you really know how to properly manage it, or when you're going through stages where, we're all still trying to figure out how to manage it, right? Like we all have our good days and our bad days, and like you with not feeling good, I've been super sick too. And we've talked about this energy kind of sick, we're going through these downloads when we're sleeping. Like I've been telling Mary, I've had some crazy issues going on with dreams, and astraling, and there's all kinds of stuff going on with my third eye right now, guys, and it's awesome, but it's like it's scary and it's kind of crazy at the same time. And I think that's where we're at. We're releasing a lot of things, and we're really kind of rising up, and we're stepping up into that higher version of ourselves. We're trying to merge that higher consciousness at this point. So some of us have done it already, some of us are still on the journey, some of us might choose to not take that journey. But I think we're all in a process of like getting in touch with our highest selves at this point. So that has me feeling really excited and really hopeful about 2019, all the possibilities.
Definitely. And I really want to dive into kind of ascension symptoms and what that really is in just a little bit. But when you were talking, it's so funny. The movie that popped into my mind is definitely Move On. I think that's exactly such a good movie.
I love it.
That's exactly what's going on right now. Is 2018, things were going good. Nothing was necessary. Some people had bad 2019, but in general, I think all of us liked it for the most part. But we were kind of being who we thought we were supposed to be. So kind of on a personal side, especially in my daytime business, I was doing all the things that I thought that I was supposed to be. And I know you're in the same path. I was doing what the experts told me. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was hitting all the marks and hitting all the milestones, but it still didn't feel quite right. And really the end of the year, I think, took a lot of time to realize what things weren't working and what things were working. And now kind of the mask is pulled back. They know that Mulan's a woman. None of that's kind of hidden anymore. And we're kind of standing out there, not on our own because we have a lot of people, but right now it's just that kind of weird transition where we got rid of some bullshit. We kind of moved through some stuff. And now we're on this other side, which is all good. But we have to just kind of get our feet kind of settled a little bit. We need to get into this. We need to, embrace what we've been calling it and really kind of, go with it, go with the flow a little bit. And we're going to get into some of those pieces, but it's been not a rocky transition. It's been a good transition over to this new year, but things are happening fast. So it feels a little bit unsettling. So I think that's what a lot of us are feeling, kind of this uncertainty, unsettling, just a little bit, but a lot of excitement. So the first few things that I want to talk about today is really how, as kind of this spiritual misfit, because if you're watching this, you're one of us, you're kind of a spiritual misfit, how to really start off the year right. So let's talk a little bit about how we prepare our year, how we kind of move through some of those things, maybe talk about goals and that type of stuff. And then I really want to, after that, dive into ascension and what that looks like as a sensitive person, because it's a whole nother level. So Jem, I'm going to bounce it over to you first. You can talk about whatever, what type of planning you do, what kind of crystals you use, whatever you use to really help you set off your new year on a really kick-ass path.
Awesome, guys. Well, I have definitely been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I mean, Mary and this is the first year I think for both of us that, we asked out before the ball even dropped on New Year's Eve. We were
done
this year. Grandma status, just like can't keep my eyes open, just like, and we're just, both of us have kind of been suffering with certain ascension symptoms that we'll get into later, but our sleep has been way off. So when we need it, we need it. And it's just been like, the first year that like we're kind of starting off the year and we're requiring more sleep, we're requiring more self-care, where I don't know, really needing to like listen to our bodies and listen to our intuition and like really make sure that we're giving ourselves the rest that we need. So for me, definitely meditation has been huge. I've been doing it. Most of New Year's Day, I spent a good chunk of the day just like at my altar and like rearranging and cleaning, just kind of clearing out some old bullshit and just setting intentions, kind of, thinking to myself, and I did this on New Year's Eve too, and leading up to it, what I wanted to leave behind in 2018 and what I really wanted to manifest and really work on. We've talked about this in the past, creating the life of our dreams, the life that really resonates with us. And that's what we're all really trying to do in this process. We're trying to shed all of these different layers, and that's what we're kind of moving into in 2019. So for me, meditation has been huge, and I'm always meditating with crystals. I've been meditating. I did a big full chakra cleanse on myself on New Year's Day, and that was like so needed. So I was just up in my loft for a couple hours and I meditated and I realigned my chakras and I stretched and I did some yoga, and I just like I really needed to just like rest and reset. I made myself a
Hmm.
smoothie. Like I just like I was giving my body what it needed. And like in that moment, that was what I really, really needed. So that's been one of my big goals for 2019 is really trying to like take better care of myself because as you said with being business owners we're running ourselves ragged, you know, we're trying to jump through hoops for clients because we want to keep people happy, and we're always chasing work because we need money, and it's just like it's so hard, you know, like where you start to get a little bit lost and you start to, you know, at certain times you have to like really force yourself to take a break. And especially you as a Capricorn, like you are super focused, super driven, you know, like it's just, and as an Aquarius, Aquarius can, we're either procrastinators or we're workaholics. There's like no real
Hmm.
balance in between. So it's just, I think a lot of us are dealing with, I don't know, a lot of different emotions. So for me, crystals have been a huge part. I mean, we've gone over this a little in the past, but I mean, my pendulum is just something that is like, it's it's a necessity at this point in my life.
Hmm.
So if any of you are really struggling with ascension symptoms, if any of you are like, you know, you're trying to process a lot of energy and you're not sure which direction to go in, if you don't have one, I highly, highly suggest it. If you can't afford one, you can make one. You could totally just wire wrap a crystal and sort of make it into a necklace that doesn't wrap around and just use it, you know, use a necklace if you have to, like get creative, you know what I mean? Like that's the other thing, guys, you know, like we've said this in the past, it doesn't have to be like, you know, a red candle on Tuesday for, you know, your intent to go out into the universe. You know, you're creating that yourself. But if you need a really useful tool, I mean, 2019, this is like
Hmm.
my job, guys. I just have to have it. It's just such a
Right.
necessity. So we're going to dive in. There's so much content around that subject. So stay tuned for that, guys. If it's something that you're interested in and you just don't know much about it, we are going to be getting into that a lot more in depth. But just for the sake of time, I'm going to speed through this a little bit. But some of my stones that I have been carrying on me, my crystals, my seer stones, excuse me, are like two of my
Mm.
favorites. So these are just such powerful stones. So for if you guys can see, these crystals, so they're polished on one side, and you know they're in their more natural kind of tumbled form on the other side. So these really are powerful healers. So if you're feeling certain blockages, if you're feeling certain things that you're trying to let go, these are really strong stones. I also have a rose quartz one. This one is regular quartz, and this one is amethyst, which are just awesome stones to have around anyway. But they're definitely more amplified. They have a little bit of a different vibration to them. So these are really awesome to use during meditation. They're also really good to kind of use on your altar. Even for sleep, I like to have these either next to my bed or like near my pillow, or they're somewhere close to me. I don't always like them under my pillow because they're kind of big, guys, but they have some really great energy about them. So and I have read that they are good for helping with dreams too. So this is another conversation that, you know, the astraling and the dreams, you know, the seer stones just have a really powerful energy about them. So they're going to amplify all the effects of these stones, and they have a little bit of a more psychic kind of element to them as far as increasing abilities. So for anybody who's experiencing, you know, any kind of clairvoyance or dreams or astraling or anything like that, you know, surrounding yourself with the right stones to kind of help protect your energy fields. I also have my labradorite. My labradorite is one that I am
Pretty.
just like never without, and it's such a great protection stone. It's really great for alleviating any kind of anxiety and worry. It's great against nightmares. It's good just on all levels. There's so many layers to this stone. There's just something really magical about it. So it always makes me feel better. It's just soothing and I don't know, really good for sleep. Like I feel like really, really promotes a calm sleep. And that's one of the things that I love most about it. Definitely helps put you in touch with your guides for sure. So those are like my heavy hitters at the moment. I mean, I'm always, especially next to my bed at night, you know, I always have a couple of my black stones, whether it's, you know, shungite is one of my personal favorites. That's like, I have a couple small shungite that I feel like they're nice. Sometimes, black tourmaline I love, but sometimes it's like a little strong for me. And onyx and those kind of stones. I love hematite. I really like resonate with hematite and shungite. So those are really good against like psychic attack. You know, if you're like just feeling super open and you're just worried, like that's one thing that's always been a struggle for me is like letting the wrong things in. You know, so I feel like those stones always like really kind of give me that like extra level of protection when I'm sleeping. So, and amethyst too is just so great for protection. And I have to show you guys my wand, my awesome wand. This is usually at my altar, but once in a while it's next to my bed while I sleep. But it's like, I don't know, I feel badass with it. It's like a weapon of mass destruction.
I also love your nails. Those are amazing.
Thanks, guys. New Year's nails. But this is my smoky quartz, so also amazing. I'm a big believer in protection stones, guys. It's made a huge difference in my life. So those are just some of my favorites, but there are many out there. I mean, Mary and I always really recommend. I mean, it's great to be gifted something. It's great to order something, but honestly, the best way to find the right stone for you is to hold it in your hand and figure it out. So if you have metaphysical stores in your area or not too far from you, I highly urge you to check them out instead of just ordering things on Amazon. Those things are great as well. But there's just something that's a little bit more personal about being able to go into a shop and really check it out. So for purposes of energy, totally recommend doing that when and if you can. So
yeah, I love Amazon for crystals, but I don't know, sometimes I question how they're sourced, and that makes me a little, you know. And I'm gonna just piggyback on yours, because I think one of the most important stones for me for the new year is really all about balance, because I get so excited about the things that we're gonna be doing and all the stuff and all the things that I get kind of lost, and I'm in too far forward or too far back, and I kind of lose it a little bit. So for me, I think probably the most powerful one, and the one that I touch all the time this time of year, there's the beautiful side, is my blue kyanite. Or this is actually something you got me, but this is a chakra balancing bracelet. So for me, it's really important to balance my chakras. I feel that so much more right now than I feel anything else, even more than protection, which is strange because I usually hover in the protection category, but I've been just absolutely needing to really balance my chakras. And I love kyanite, any kyanite, but blue in particular, because this will instantly align all of your chakras instantly without having to be cleansed or doing anything kind of special. So I think this one's an absolute go-to this time of year.
Absolutely. That's a good one. One of my faves.
So you're talking all about setting intention and kind of setting yourself up energetically. Now I'm going to bounce over to setting. I am the Capricorn. This is just the way that this rolls. I'm the organized one and the kind of the real planner. And I have to plan, because what happens is I have all the best intentions, as we all do, and I will shout my intentions from the rooftop, but then never actually like get off my ass and work towards these intentions. And then it never happens, and I'm disappointed why it's not happening. And the secret told me that if I just keep wishing for it, it's all going to come to me. So I don't understand why that's not working. But in reality, if you have an intention and you have a goal, you have to work towards it if you actually want something to happen. That's real life. And that's the magic of it. So I really like to plan. I really like to organize. So I think starting off the new year right really means taking your intentions and making those into actionable goals. Not to get, smart goals and super nerdy, but at least have a way for you to focus on those things. Because if you're not focused on them, then energy is not going towards them. You're not building them. You're not growing them. So you need to focus them. So I have a bunch of different ways that I do this, but I want to share some of them with you guys. The first and definitely the most nerdy way, but my favorite way to do anything, is a giant chartboard.
Yeah! Nicely done.
I miss my calling as a kindergarten teacher. All my crafting.
Seriously. You would have made a mean bulletin board, girl.
My sweaters and my bulletin boards would have been on point.
On point.
If only I could handle children, then I would be okay with it. But yeah, I mean, really simply, what I did is I want to have a very specific morning routine that has very specific steps, not just like wake up and don't be a bitch, but it's, actually brush your teeth in the morning, because I forget to do that sometimes. Do my qigong, do my priming, have breakfast, all those things. Then I have my nighttime routine, Then I have my weekly goals and I have my daily goals. So that's how I kind of laid it out. And then this is
Love
both
it.
me and my partner. And then we get like little stars for each day that we accomplish it.
Oh, I love it.
I'm already winning. Already winning. But I think for us visual learners, for us people who are Capricorns, or people who like competition, so if you're an Aries and you just love competition or anything like that, some of these boards are amazing. And some people, especially more, I would say kind of the water signs, that you guys might get a little sad if you see yourself falling behind. So this may not be for you guys. So people who don't like to track, that may not be for you. But I think having that really, really helps me have real goals. So that's number one, as how, number one is sit down, fix yourself energetically, decide what you're going to be working for, what's no longer working, what you're cutting out, really make those kind of energetic decisions. And then from there, work your life around that. Because guys, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to pull a card. I don't have any of that time. I don't. But if I actually sit down and plan it into my day and plan my day around these other things, these things that are more important to me, I'm putting myself first, and I'm really able to kind of do a lot more things. So I love that method. One of the ways, and Jem, I think you have one of these, the 2019. Did you pick one up? Yeah, we love these. But these are very simple, just unbelievably gorgeous, just kind of weekly planners. So these are a little bit easier. They have like a month layout. This is my old one. But then they also have just kind of the week by week. So these are nice when you just need like a play by play. So you're not someone who needs to get as specific and as granular as that giant chart, but you're someone who wants to track specific changes or track certain things or organize something. These types of things are a great way to do that. So I love these books. I think they're like $12 and they're gorgeous in every way.
You can find them on Amazon Prime, guys. So
yeah,
no excuses.
So that's one of the ways. And then the last thing that I did, because I started this when I was broke as a joke, and I actually couldn't afford one of these, but I wanted something fun. And I wanted something flexible too, because I'll start one of those planners and do it for 3 months and then stop. So I wanted something more like flexible. So I created this binder, and I can actually upload this for all you guys so that you have it, because I have all these. But basically, just long and short, it's just like a monthly kind of, I actually do this for 90 days at a time. So in the next 90 days, what are the things that I want to think about? Because I don't know what my life is going to be. I don't even know what my life will be like next week. But 90 days, I usually have a pretty good grasp on. So what am I working on? What is my why for the last 90 days? And then I do all types of stuff like weekly planning, and let's see what else I got. And then I track like my habits that way. This is a new one. Then I do like weekly kind of reviews. This is for kind of the person who likes to write a little bit more. So sometimes I really like to sit down and write. And like this one, you can kind of see it has, did I do my morning routine? What's my mood? What's my energy level? Like all those types of things. So someone who needs to kind of go internally a little bit more, someone who's really working on yourself, this kind of format will work really well for you. So those are the 3 different things that I use, and I kind of use them all in conjunction along with like Google tools and trackers and all types of nonsense. I use it all. But I think once you energetically have an outline of what you want to do, you've set your intentions, you know what you want to call in this year, you really need to do something like this to actually get you on that path. Because so many of us say that this is the craft we want, and then we never work towards it. You're never going to lose a pound if you don't get off your ass. And it's a hard lesson, but it's one I learned. It's what, you know what I mean? Like if you don't change, you don't see change in your life. And it all starts mentally, of course, but then there's the physical side of it. And then after all that is done, you then have the other energy side of it. And I think that's what we also want to talk about today, is what it's like to have ascending symptoms, what that even friggin' means, and why you failed in the past. Because I bet you this is why.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I mean, everyone right now is processing a ton of energy, no matter where you're at in your journey, we're all kind of in this together. And I think that that's the biggest thing that 2019 is going to show us. I think we're going to start to see a shift where, there's a population of people that, I mean, we're all connected any way you cut it, but there's a population of people that the same things are resonating with all of us. We all want change. We all want to improve in our lives. We all want real connection again. And I think that with that, as we ascend and, move from this 3D kind of physical, ego-centered reality that we're in, and move to more of the 5D and more of a place of love and a place of higher consciousness, that a lot of us are going through this right now. And we're not just feeling emotional symptoms. We're not just feeling, whether we're crying one minute or whether we're super happy the next, or whatever it is that we're going through, we're actually feeling physical symptoms. And whether that's in the form of being sore, whether it's in the form of feeling physically sick, like you feel like you have a cold, you feel like you might have the flu, you don't really know what's going on, but you just feel energetically drained. You just have, like you're just low, it's a struggle to really want to do much of anything. And I think that depending on what we're all going through, and depending, which of our chakras are particularly blocked, or are they all blocked, or have, has a bunch of crazy energy latched onto us during the holidays, that we didn't like properly expel. Did we not give ourselves adequate rest? Did we not give ourselves adequate hydration? Has our diet been a total shit show? And, now we're trying to make
all of those.
all of those, have we been doing a little too much of this, which I am proud to say this year I did not. I think this is the first year that I didn't like drink my face off during the holidays, admittedly, guys. So,
impressive.
Yeah. So I think we're all just, we're all moving and shaking a lot of old energy and old patterns and old ways of thinking. And, unfortunately, I can't even say unfortunately, but from the way that we kind of think of it, when we're in this 3D reality is, unfortunately with change comes, you might lose certain relationships. You might see changes in certain relationships, certain situations in your life, whether it's work related, whether it's house related, like whatever it is. Unfortunately, part of growing is that like you outgrow certain people, places, things, situations in that process. And it's all for the greater good. But it becomes, I say unfortunately, because, we're all holding on to certain things. There's certain things or people or, situations that, they tug at our heartstrings, like there's history there, there's memories there, there's feelings there, there's all kinds of different things. But, there's certain things in your life that I think we're all starting to realize like might have to change in certain ways, and whatever that means for you, no matter how big or how small. But I think that planning out, your goals on some of those things, and whether it's making a to-do list for every day or keeping a calendar or whatever it is you have to do, I think that we're all just feeling like physical symptoms in a lot of areas of our lives where it's difficult to transition back into the routine. It's difficult to transition into going back to work because we're all healing and growing and changing. And I think along with that, it's lack of sleep or, too much sleep. We've both been struggling with getting our sleep cycles right. I think some of our internal clocks are a little bit off. I think some of us are just becoming so connected that we're dreaming more. We're, literally feeling like we're traveling miles in our sleep. There's just all these changes. We're focused on goals. We're focused on change. But we're kind of stuck in this limbo of like letting go 2018 and moving forward into 2019. So I feel like we're exhausted at this point. Like we're actually like energetically sick in certain ways. And even I told you last night, I woke up, shot up straight awake at 2 a.m. and I was so itchy and dry and just, yes, it's winter in New Jersey, guys. So I'm not undermining that, but there are physical symptoms that can come with a lot of this. So whether it's the form of you literally feeling like you're crawling out of your skin physically, or just in your mind, or, whatever it is that you're going through, understand that these symptoms are real. Sometimes when we feel like we're going crazy, or we feel like we can't relax, or we feel like nothing's going right, or whatever it is, sometimes it's just the fact that we're overloaded. We need to, sorry guys, we need to figure out what we're really taking stock in and what we need to really be delivering our energy to, placing healthy boundaries in certain areas where there need to be, or making the decision to leave certain things behind us. So we're kind of like grieving certain things in a sense, but like in a really cathartic and beautiful way where, it hurts so good. really is like the only
It
thing I
does
can
hurt
think
so
of.
good.
That John Mellencamp song right now is like all that I have in my head.
So good.
It's a jam. It's a jammy jam.
It is a jam. It is a jam. And I want to dive in a little bit, and I want to give you guys kind of a real world example because, you know, you can read every blog, you can listen to us say all this stuff and just roll with it. You know, it's ascension, everything's fine, trust and love. But when you're like in it, it really kind of blows. So I want to talk a little bit about like I'm going to give you guys an insight into my life. So one of the things that I'm really, really working on is standing up for myself and proving my value. So a lot of you guys know that I own a marketing company, which is fantastic. I love it. It's one of the greatest things, but I'm very much a bleeding heart. So I give everyone a great deal. Every small business that has a problem in the world, I take care of them, and I do way too much for pennies. So that's kind of a problem that I've had with my company. And now I just have too much work and I'm still not making enough money. So I'm really working on my self-value and my self-worth and having the confidence to only take on the customers that are a really good fit for us. So that's one of my actual goals. So you'll see it on here. Some of these reflect that goal. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be working on.
Awesome.
So one of the first symptoms that I had, and this is probably the one that you and I have first usually, is sleep problems. So as soon as I kind of set out on the new goal, a new path, my sleep is instantly affected. So if your sleep is being affected, that's usually a great kind of like, oh, maybe something in the energy is going on, because when you're sleeping is when you're releasing a whole bunch of nonsense because you're kind of out, you know, and your body's doing its thing, it's taking care of you. And when you get triggered in your sleep, you wake up and all this other stuff that's going on, it's healing you, all this other crap. So if your sleep is getting messed up, that's usually the first thing that happens. Now, for me, the second thing that happened was really kind of my like my solar plexus, my confidence, and just kind of like small and large intestine issues. So like I ate a hot dog on New Year's Eve and I thought I was gonna die. Like just the processed food of it all was so good too. But processed food, things that aren't vibrant, aren't healthy. Just I have so much trouble in that area right now because I'm working on my confidence. I'm working on that, you know, the yellow sacral chakra. Well, I guess kind of all of them really I'm working on, but kind of those lower three chakras are what I'm really working on. That's where I'm having a lot of physical problems there. So I have to be careful of what I eat because that's giving me problems. So then the other thing that's going on with me right now is I'm sick, but I'm not sick. And this is like a really weird thing that happened. So my nose won't stop, my throat won't stop, I won't stop coughing. I am just, my glands are swollen, I'm just miserable. But just like right here, nothing else is wrong with me. Nowhere else is having problems. I don't have the flu because it's not one of those like full body things. It actually kind of comes in and out. Like I'm doing really well right now. I haven't like coughed my head off or anything. But as soon as I go to bed, that's what happens. So it's this weird where like you're okay, but you're not okay. And you're kind of sick, but you're not really sick. They're kind of like phantom symptoms a little bit. You get this too, right, Jem?
Oh my gosh, I get this in a major way, and sometimes worse than others. Sometimes I am literally physically ill, like either crazy migraines or, you know, I'm like suddenly I wake up in tons of pain. You know, so sometimes it's like really intense, and sometimes it is, like you said, kind of like phantom symptoms where it's like I'll feel it for a little while and then it's kind of gone again, and then it kind of comes back and then it's kind of gone again. And it's this weird kind of integration of being around certain energies and taking on certain energies and expelling certain energies that it's just, it can actually take physical form. And I mean, Mary knows this, again, a very personal one for me. I mean, I have shown her pictures of waking up with, I mean, just insane bruises on me. I mean, like, and in positions that I most obviously didn't do to myself, and, you know, actually looking like thumbprints and finger marks and stuff like that too, where it's like there's so many different ways that when you're going through certain things in your life and you're processing certain energies that, you know, you can either be putting out good and attracting good back, or you can be putting out bullshit and attracting bullshit back. And unfortunately, sometimes when you're vulnerable, certain things can kind of find a way of working its way in. And that could be vulnerable that you're down in the dumps and you feel like life sucks, or it can be vulnerable in the respect that you went to a party at your friend's house and you had a couple drinks and maybe you like let your guard down a little bit there and some kind energy found its way in and latched onto you and followed you home. These are all things that are realities in both of our lives, that certain things that we deal with on a regular kind of basis. And we're really lucky that we have each other as well to help us kind of figure it out along the way when we're like really struggling to figure it out on our own. And I think that's like one of the biggest things that we want to try to accomplish here too, guys, is just, we know that some of you are like totally flying solo in this, and how scary that can be when you really feel like you don't have anybody to talk to about it, and you're like legit wondering if you're crazy or if you're going to die, or like whatever is going through you at the moment. There's all these waves of feelings and emotions that come through, and just know that it's normal. Like, let yourself feel it, let yourself heal it, and let yourself let it go, and just get it the fuck out of here.
Absolutely. Because a lot of times when you're setting new goals, especially for the new year, you're releasing some stuff. So just like, it's just like ridiculous how much energy we actually hold on to. So going back to my example of kind of up-leveling my confidence, one of the things that I've recently been doing for Christmas, I got like a jade roller where you kind of roll like your face. And as soon as I started doing this, I love them so much. As soon as I started doing this, all these toxins have been pushed down into my lymph nodes, and I can feel them, and I help kind of move those lymph. That's part of my routine. But as soon as that happens, it's amazing how much toxins are in your skin and kind of move out, and you can feel them and your body takes care of. It's the same thing with energy. So that's why you start a goal, and either maybe 3 or 5 days after you've been working at this goal, you just kind of fall off, because you're getting hit with all this old energy, all this old crap that you have to clear out. And you don't know, is it mine? Is it someone else's? Is it new? Is it old? It can be really confusing. And that's kind of one of the hardest things, especially when you're starting out. Jem and I, as we've been going through this, we've learned a lot. But starting out, you decide that, January 1st, you're going to start working out. On January, the first 3 days you do good. On January 4th, you put on those sneakers and you literally almost die trying to get out the door. Like, it's just physically impossible for you to do that. And just kind of knowing that that's just old energy and you can move through it, and how easy you can move through it is something that takes a little while to know. And it's one of those tools that you just kind of have to work through a little bit. So as you're ascending, as you're growing, you're getting rid of some of the old shit and making room for the new shit. But just like when you take your crap to Goodwill, like, you have to get rid of this stuff before, you can have room for the new stuff. So you have to let some of this stuff go, and you have to detox. And there's a few really good ways to detox. I think number one is salt bath. Getting your ass in some salt, or using salt on your hands, or anything that you can do. I have actually like this like heart salt massage stone that I just like go to sleep with, just like holding. And it just feels so good. That really, really helps. So definitely doing salt baths, doing energy clearing. If you can, get a Reiki session, anything like that, aligning your chakras, those are all amazing things. What else do you do to kind of like help you detox the energy?
I mean, I took a salt bath last night. That is definitely a huge part of my regular routine. I think for me, a big part of, I don't know, getting myself back to good and feeling grounded, always getting out in nature. I mean, even though it's cold here, I mean, if I can just go for a hike for a little bit, or if I can even just take the dog for a walk, whatever the case may be, I feel like just being outside, just having the wind kind of blowing on me, kind of like cleansing me of whatever bullshit, I might be holding on to. There's just something that's always been really powerful for me about just being out in nature, that just always helps to kind of reset me. So I always like starting the day with a walk for my
Mm-hmm.
dog. It's just like it sets my day off right. And I do notice a big difference. Like now with the holidays, I fell off. The weather was bad, and then we were just busy and running around, and I just like the dog wasn't getting out as much. I wasn't getting as much exercise, and like we're both feeling it, like we're both like, pent
Mm-hmm.
up in certain ways where we don't get that exercise out. So I think that whatever exercise is for you, like for me, I tend to connect more being outside in nature, rather than like going to the gym. But whatever it is for you, I've been getting back into yoga and stretching and all that kind of stuff a lot more again.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge for me. Even just the breath work side of it is just so huge for me, as far as managing stress, managing anxiety, keeping myself centered, keeping my chakras flowing, and just, because I think that's like one of the first places that I go when I start to get like anxious about stuff is it's just like I'm like forgetting to breathe, and I think that we all do that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, we start to get like worked up, and it's amazing how far you can throw your body off by, not getting enough oxygen, guys, not drinking enough water, keeping yourself hydrated, like not paying attention enough to your diet. Like these are all things that just like help me, that like now that I was like sloppy and falling off for so long, it's like I'm feeling it, it's like I needed the new
Yeah.
year to come because I needed to get back on track again.
It's hard. There's so much obligation over the holidays that you don't want to like not eat with family, or like it just gets a little bit weird and you get off track. Like that's just the way it happens. It's not a big deal. It happens to all of us. And I
Mm-hmm.
love kind of that spirit of the new year of getting back on track because our bodies need it. It needs that vitality that, like you're saying, just kind of brings some life back into us. And I'm really excited for that for the new year and kind of how things are shifting. So we've covered mentally or spiritually how to really start off your new year. Talked about physically how to start off your new year, with kind of planning and all of that. And then mentally, how to kind of get over the mental blocks that will happen in the new year. So if you guys kind of keep that in mind, sit down, decide what you want, get your intention, figure out spiritually where you want to go for the new year. Then sit down and then figure out the physical plan. What does that look like? What action steps you need to take to get there? And then mentally, knowing some of the roadblocks that you might hit into and how to avoid those. I think if you have those three pieces, you'll really have a kick-ass year. I'm excited.
Absolutely. I think it's great. And, do whatever resonates with you guys. Like, what's been working for me is I kind of created a calendar in my phone where every morning at a certain time, I have an alert that goes off in my phone that reminds me that I need to take the dog for a walk. I need to make a smoothie. I need to, even
Mm-hmm.
if I only spend 10 minutes doing a little yoga and stretching or a little time at my altar. Like we can all find 10 minutes in the morning to just like take a little bit of time for ourselves, like it's so important. I think that so many of us are just going all the time that we're forgetting about it, and just make the time for it, guys. Like whatever plan works for you, set those intentions, but follow them through. I actually just started reading a book, and I'll bring it next time to show you guys because I'm going to butcher the name right now because I just started skimming through it. But they're talking about a lot of the same things that you're talking about is, if you're setting, they refer to it as wishcraft in the book, which I thought was really cute. But it's just
It
kind
is.
of the nature of putting positive intentions out there, but then actually taking the steps to create those results. So, if you're looking for more business, and you're setting out intention that, you're going to get more business, then what are you actually going to do? Who are you going to reach out to? What 10, 20 contacts are you going to reach out to try to create these contacts? So it's just, it's holding ourselves accountable. So whatever area of your life, or all the areas of your life, that you need to be holding yourself accountable in, and just kind of like accepting yourself and knowing that like that's positive. It's a positive thing to hold yourself accountable. You don't need to get down on yourself. You don't need to get into this lower vibrational thought. You can come from a place of love and still love yourself and make those positive changes that, you know, might be out of your comfort zone or might really need to be a kick in the ass that you need, that you've been procrastinating or sitting around, or you've been afraid, or you've been feeling these other feelings. You know, it's normal to kind of feel it all right now, but it's time to let it all go and move into 2019 just kind of forward marching. I feel like this, you know, 2018 was a year of letting go, of change, of seeing what isn't working for us. So that way we're able to really cultivate that life of our dreams in 2019. So I think it's, you know, as you said, with everything's kind of happening, I feel the same way. Just like, feel like it's been 2019 for a second and like, boom, like everything is just exploded. And there's all these awesome things coming at me at once. And it's amazing and it's wonderful. But it's like, whoa, man, like I thought, you know, holidays are over. Thought we were slowing down a little bit. Like, I'm fucking tired. Like, you know, like it's just, it's crazy, but it's like, but this is how it works. So you have to just embrace it with open arms, and you have to just, you know, be accepting of the blessings that are coming your way. Don't be afraid of them. Don't stay in the past just because it's comfy. Because, and this is one of like my new favorite quotes ever, but the one actress who's on Blackish, I was watching like a little like snippet of her. I don't know what her name is in real life, but the quote that she said was, if you sit in shit long enough, it stops smelling. And it like it was the funniest and like the most powerful thing that I think I've heard in a really long time, because I feel like that's what 2019 is about for all of us. Is there certain things that we've kind of been doing, or we've kind of been keeping around because it's comfortable, it's familiar territory, you know, like we've just like, we've gotten comfortable at this point, you know, like maybe we've, you know, we all have like spiritual dad bod now because we're like just comfortable in certain things, you know, like, and that's okay.
I love that so much. Spiritual dad bod. We do.
Make a shirt that says that now. But I don't know, guys. I think that it's just that this is what it's all about. You know, it's about stepping out of our comfort zone into unknown, into our most authentic self. So that way we're really able to create the life of our dreams.
And I'm really excited to see where it goes. And we have, for anyone who's joined us and hasn't been here before, we have the Charmed Life, which is our monthly membership. That is a great way to stay accountable. Because I think it's so hard when you're out there by yourself and you don't have someone you could talk to about this or ask questions about, or really have, you know, someone to kind of talk you through what's going on. So if you're interested, now is the perfect time to join the Charmed Life, because it's January, which is amazing. And right now it's only $10. So the price is going to be going up. I don't know when specifically.
10, guys.
But 10.
Count them.
$10 a month.
10.
I spend $10 a month. I'm trying to think like what ridiculous. I spend $10 a month on gum, for sure.
I spend $10 a month on my Ipsy bag. And it's like a couple cosmetic samples.
Like I spend $10 without really thinking about it. And to get so much value for it, I suggest you guys do it, obviously, because you just love us and you want to spend more time with us, but really holding yourselves accountable and doing something for you, because what you make a priority in your life will be the priority. So if you make it yourself, then you're going to come out on top. If you make it everyone else's problems, everyone else's dramas, everyone else's needs, that's what's coming through this year. So definitely find ways to be accountable. Definitely find ways to kind of do you and have an amazing year. And I think the last thing we want to do is pull some cards to talk a little bit about what the energy is right now. So I can let you start if you want.
All right, guys. Well, we are moving into some, I don't know, really powerful energy right now, guys. We're moving into the new moon this weekend. There's also going to be an eclipse going on at the same time. So needless to say, energies are going to be high. So whatever you've got going on for this weekend, I mean, this is powerful. This is going to be stuff that is going to set the stage for not only the rest of 2019, but for the entire rest of our lives. Like, there are just big changes in store right now. So I suggest for everybody, I mean, I challenge everyone to really kind of think about what we want to manifest for the rest of the year, what we want to manifest for the rest of our lives. Like, start really like thinking big and kind of tapping into as we've talked about in the past, that inner child energy, you know, and kind of really reconnecting. That's one of my, you know, my biggest goals. And I have a whole list of all the things that I intend on doing. But that's my biggest overarching goal is just getting back in touch with my inner child and the things that, I don't know, rang true to me, I don't know, in the most like simple time in my life, you know, like I thrived off of taking dance classes. Like I thrived off of, you know, doing art. I thrived off of, you know, taking pictures. You know, there were all these like different hobbies and different things that like made me feel like myself, and that just kind of like captured and created that sense of wonder. And so that's one of my biggest goals that I'm like really most excited about, and it's going to apply to so many areas of my life. But that's the biggest thing that I'm kind of challenging of everybody, is to just kind of think about what were some of those things that, you know, before the weight of the world kind of was falling on you. Oh, poor Mary. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Feel better. I'm gonna do some
I'm sorry, I
recovery
thought I
when we
muted
get
you.
off of this call. But yeah, guys, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is just trying to keep it light. You know, we're doing a lot of healing right now, so there's gonna be some heavy energies. You know, it's okay to feel all of it. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, is to realize that it's okay to feel them. You know, you don't want to wallow in it, but you don't want to go through life numb either. So it's really important that you pay attention to whatever's coming up, whether it's coming up in your personal life, whether it's coming up in your dreams. You know, there's certain signs and synchronicities, whether it's number sequences, you know, whatever it is that's really kind of resonating with you. Spirit speaks to us in all kinds of different ways. It can be something as simple as a song that comes on the radio. You
music,
know,
always music.
always music. And I mean, we're such big music nerds. So I mean, it's only natural that that would come up for us. But interesting, the first card that came out for me. I'm gonna pull 3 cards here, guys. I'm using my my little traveling tarot deck that I actually got when I was in New Orleans.
I love
So
that deck.
yeah, so this deck is it's super cute. So it's I really like the energy of these cards. They're just like compact size too, so they're really nice for on the go. They're just really easy to work with, and I love the artwork. I love just the energy about this deck in particular, and Mary and I both have an affinity for New Orleans, so they
We do.
we definitely incarnated there at least once in our lives. So I don't know, these cards just hold
Or
kind
we're
of
killed
like
there once.
I was definitely killed there at least once. Processing so much in the past lives department, guys. So if you
we'll get into that some other time.
guys have questions on past lives, you know, send in some comments, send us some emails. We would love to answer your questions. I'm gonna shuffle for like maybe 1 more minute, and then if nothing else comes out, then I'm just gonna.
Do you want me to use my card? Because I did pull one already, or one jumped out.
Yeah, I have 1 jumper, so you go ahead first, babe. I'm gonna see if anybody else
I'm
pops
just
out.
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick little card because I really love these cards. They just
Oh,
I
there
don't
it
know.
is.
I love a full card spread. And there it goes. I love a full card spread, and I'm so into those. But sometimes I just like little quick reminders. So the one that pulled out, and I think probably one of the most important ones, and probably going to align with yours, is gratitude. And that's like, I think we forget the most. It's like drinking water. Like we forget to drink water. We forget gratitude. Like this is the most important thing. If the only thing you do for this entire year, if you make one change, and that's actually being honestly grateful and remembering what you're grateful for, your whole year will change and be amazing. So being grateful, having gratitude is absolutely fundamental as you kind of shift, and it makes dealing with a lot of shit a lot easier when you have gratitude in your life.
Absolutely. I think gratitude is the biggest thing that we forget about, like we
Hmm.
love, especially in the tri-state area, we love to bitch and complain and kibitz
Oh,
or
you
whatever
do?
term you want to use. We live for it. And I have had this conversation with friends of mine that have moved out of the tri-state area to places like Colorado, to places like California, where just like people don't do that. People don't like, they don't just complain about your day to you. And so it's really tough energetically sometimes just being in the area that we're in. I love it. It's edgy, it's fun, it's raw, it's great, but it is a lot to deal with sometimes. And I think we all, whether you live in an urban area, whether you work in a fast-paced environment, whatever it is, there's many of us that are coming into contact, all of us in certain ways, whether it's family, whether it's certain friends that are a little abrasive, that, there's certain things that we gotta protect ourselves, guys, too. We gotta like put out like our energetic little bubble and kind of protect ourselves as
Yes.
well moving into the new year. So I pulled some interesting cards that I think it's funny because you got gratitude, so you got this beautiful card of like this self-expression, and where my cards kind of touch a little bit more on what we need to let go of, what's our blockages are, what's kind of holding us back, and what's definitely holding us back from harnessing into that inner child energy and kind of moving up in that ascension process. So the first one that jumped out to me is the Five of Wands. So as you can
Okay.
see, those two mofos are throwing down. So whether it's stiff competition, whether it's people in your lives that either you're clashing with, or whether it's certain people that maybe don't have your best interest in mind, whatever it is, whether it's a person, place, thing, situation, again, that needs to go, it's showing this kind of conflict where, as we rise up on this journey, there's going to be certain people and places and things, energy vampires, that want to try to latch on and want to try to like keep us held down in this place because they're scared to let us go. They know that we're scared to let them go, or whatever the case may be. There's different kinds of manipulation, of guilt, different lower vibrational kind of energies that go on. So whether it's actual physical fighting, whether it's arguing with somebody, however it transpires in your life, just know that you don't have to be afraid of this. You don't have to keep putting up with certain things that just aren't resonating with you. So if it's creating conflict, if it's creating strife in whatever area of your life, just know that, there's certain things that, you don't have to feel the certain societal pressures to give into certain things, to compromise certain facets of yourself. So, however that kind of conflict applies to you, I just kind of challenge everybody to think about what conflicts they need to let go of in their life, whether it's healing something from the past that we've kind of been holding on to, whether it's fear of stepping into the unknown. Just kind of, face your adversaries head on, is how I will say, if it's like literal or figurative. So that's my
That's
first card.
funny. How many times have we text each other, done. I'm done. I'm done with this person. I'm done with this. Probably if you go through our text, it's like, done. I'm done.
Mic drop.
Like 50 things. I've been like, I'm done. I'm not. I'm done.
Yep. Nope. Don't have time for you no more. Like the struggle is
Perfect card.
real
I love it.
sometimes, where it's like, you don't even know I would cut you off in 2 seconds. But it's true, guys. We need to not be rash, but we need to create healthy boundaries. And, as much as we joke of, one of my favorite phrases, I'm going to shank a bitch, literally not okay, guys.
True.
We need to come from a place of compassion. We need to kind of understand what people are going through a little bit. Like, it's cool if people are driving us crazy, but like, we need to try to look at it from another angle and not let their energy wear us down either. At the end of the day, it's not that serious. So again, our mission here, guys, is to, I'm not going to censor it, lighten the fuck up. So just bear in mind, guys, whatever it is that you're holding on to, you're the one holding on to it. So again, getting back to taking accountability, do you want to choose to have this heavy, hard energy, woe is me, surrounding you, this guilt, this victim mentality, whatever it is that you're holding on to? Or do we want to step into our power? Do we want to own it? Do we want to show some strength? Step into our power, like really feel that like god or goddess energy, whatever is resonating with you. Like, don't be afraid of it. Like, we're the empress now, like there's emperors out there too. Like, some of us are really on that journey where we've really stepped up our game, and we got to heal some shit because we are like totally changing on like so many levels where we kind of feel like our realist self, but we're almost like an entirely new person. So it's like this weird kind of adjusting to a new existence. So I thought that the next card that I pulled was really appropriate. It's the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is kind of like this confused state. It can be kind of like this balancing act where either you're trying to balance certain things in your lives, whether it's expectations or, relationships or whatever it is, but it can be a total state of confusion. It can be a state of having to make a choice between two things, so I think that's the big thing in 2019 for a lot of us is it's time to make a choice. There's no more wallowing in this, I don't know what I want. And I'm just like lost on my journey because I think that like 2018 in certain ways was that for a lot of us. Like we were just like kind of, we were figuring out who we were, but we maybe didn't fully know who we are yet. And now we're at a point where we're ready to own it. We're feeling it. We're feeling really strong in who we are. We're feeling strong in our convictions. So there's no more of this wishy-washy, I don't know what I want bullshit. It's got to go. So whatever area of your life that applies to that you're either confused about or having anxiety about, or you feel like you can't make a decision about, the time has come to make a change. Like the truth will set you free. So if you've been kind of like beating around the bush or walking on eggshells over certain things, it's time to let that go. Like come from a place of compassion and a place of diplomacy, but stand your ground too and speak your truth. Speak your truth. I think so many of us are going, even you with your throat chakra shit right now, guys. We've been keeping certain things to ourselves for so long that it's starting to eat us alive, and we need to let it all go. We need to not be afraid to speak truthfully, to preserve either the feelings or the wants or whatever of other people. It's okay to be totally honest as long as you're coming from a place of love and a place of compassion, and you're not just being reactive. You're not, as I said to Mary earlier, just eating shit and eating shit and eating shit for so long until you explode, and then you're a giant asshole. And then you look like a jerk, you feel like a jerk, you didn't express yourself at all how you wanted to. And, or you just keep saying nothing for so long that it's time to make a change. It's time to not be afraid, guys. So if you're wishy-washy or hemming and hawing over anything, it's time to shit or get off of the pot. It's time to make a decision. Because if we don't make a decision, what's going to happen is this. We need to stop taking on the weight of the world on our shoulders. We need to stop jumping through hoops for everyone. We need to pay a little bit more attention to that voice inside that says, this is what I need right now. And we need to listen to it. Because the truth of the matter is, if we keep doing this and we keep taking and taking and taking and taking, we're going to drown. We're going to get crushed under this. We can't do this to ourselves anymore. And that's the most powerful thing that I think about 2019 is we're starting to say no. And that it's okay to say no. And we're starting to be really true with what resonates with us, what doesn't resonate with us, what energies were around that maybe trigger us in certain ways or make us feel a certain way. Pay attention to how your body is feeling. I had this discussion with Mary as well that like certain social events I was at throughout the season, I felt legitimately ill afterward. And so there's certain energies that I just have to be really mindful of, like who I keep around, and in what doses, or if at all. anymore moving into this new year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us, we've been dealing with that, but now we're at the point where like zero fucks given. Like we've had enough. Like enough is enough.
Totally.
And, you know, we're just ready. We're ready at this point. We're feeling strong. So
I
stay
think that's the
strong,
perfect
guys.
reading.
Yeah, stay strong. Like don't become this. This is what 2018 did to many of us. This is what a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the previous years did to us. It's time to let it all go. It's time to free ourselves of whatever mental, physical, spiritual, emotional bullshit baggage we've been holding on to. Time to take out the trash, guys.
Absolutely. That's such a great way to say it. It really is. It's time to kind of let that stuff go with just ease. Sometimes you just hold on to things way too hard. I always think of like, you can probably hear about my one dog, Roxy. She, with like a frisbee, she won't let it go. Like she was not allowed to bring it into the house because she chews on it and all the plastic. But it's like fighting her to like the death to get it out of like her giant teeth. Sometimes you just need to let it go because then you get a treat. That's what you get when you let things go. But sometimes that doesn't all make sense in their minds. You just need to let it go gently. Don't hold on to some of this other nonsense. Don't hold on to it. And don't make it your responsibility to help other people feel a certain way. That's not going to get you where you need to go. The only person that you can be responsible for is yourself and your own energy. And if people don't like what you're doing, so what? Like this year, I just emailed two of my customers letting them know prices are going up. And I was so scared of what was going to go on. And I just got an email back like, sounds good. That's it. Like you are the ones that are creating all kind of this stress in your life. If people are either going to take it or they're not, and that's going to be okay, and you're going to be fine. So I think it's important to just kind of let things go easily so you don't end up like that, carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Absolutely. Just be genuine, guys. Be true to yourselves. Learn to figure out the difference. Ooh, 1010, make a wish, guys.
Oh.
Special. Learn to figure out what's really your voice and what's not, what's really your energy and what's not. Like, that's the biggest challenge that I can give you guys. And if you're already at a place where you've either started figuring that out or you figured it out, wherever you're at, I commend you. If you haven't figured it out in the least, it's okay. We've all been there,
Mm-hmm.
and we've all veered off at many points in the process when we thought we had it figured out. That's the whole thing about this, is it's just, the best mentors and teachers that you'll ever find are the ones that are still students themselves. This never ends. No one's an expert here. It doesn't matter how much or how little experience you have. All that really matters is just being genuine to yourself. And I think many of us are feeling this innate inner kind of calling, to, look at the world through eyes more that are a little bit more childlike, a little bit more innocent, where there's a little bit more sense of hope, a sense of wonder, a sense of humanity, a sense of connectedness. And I think that that's what we're really moving toward cultivating in 2019, is just creating, I don't know, kind of getting back to the basics as far as connection, as far as what really resonates in our lives. I mean, think about it. Like when our parents were growing up, when our grandparents were growing up and beyond, communities were so much smaller than they are now. Now with social media, we're in touch with, however many people we want to be at our fingertips. And it's created this kind of distorted view of who's in our life and who's not, and who's important and who's what's not. We keep in touch with people that, keep in touch with people that we would never normally keep in touch with.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't even remember that person's name anymore. But now we know what their baby looks like. We know where their wedding was. We know all these things about them. So everything is sort of shifted, where we're being hit with an extraneous amount of energy at all times, but we're really seeking this real, true connection. We're seeking getting back to the source of humanity, which is love. I mean, all of this, trust in yourself and trust in the universe are one and the same. It's all coming from the same place, and it's all coming from a place of heart. It's coming from a place of love. So I think the biggest thing that I can offer and kind of challenge everybody to do is to start, I don't know, thinking and feeling more from in this general region and trying to leave some of the other bullshit behind. You know, if it's not coming from here or a place above, it should be coming from a place below. You know, there's all this bullshit. We get lost in the mind. We get lost in our own head. We overthink things. We overanalyze things. We create depression. We create anxiety, you know, and I'm not undermining mental illness in any which way, shape, or form, but we do we are the masters of our own destiny at the end of the day. So we all have a choice. And I think we just need to be a little bit more conscious of not only the choices we make for ourselves, but the choices we make surrounding other people and how we show people love in different ways. And, you know, just being a little bit more mindful about not flipping the guy off who cut you off because maybe he's having a totally shit day. Like maybe like he feels like his life has totally gone down the drain and he's going through all the shit. You never know, you know, what anybody is going through in their life. So just be kind, guys. You know, we've gotten to a point where we're really desensitized to human connection and to actual feeling and emotion. And I think 2019 is where we're going to reconnect to all of that.
Definitely. It's so funny that you say that because I guess it was 2 days ago. I went on like a crazy Facebook. I cut out more than half of everyone on Facebook. I'm just done. Like if I don't truly know you, I'm out. Like I can't stand talking to these people or seeing these posts or just kind of the shitty things that people post or the nasty energy that people post or the desperate energy that people post. I'm just completely done with it. So I neutered my Facebook page because I want to connect with a smaller group of people who I actually care about, people I actually enjoy and want to see how I'm doing in my life. So I suggest everyone does the same. Cut out all the haters.
That's my plan too. I haven't gotten to do it yet, but that is one of my plans, is seriously downsizing social media on all angles because it's just got to go, man. It's gotten out of control.
I'm done. And I'm even cutting out like the people who are like my friends, but like there's a few people, you know who they are, who post like hunting stuff all the time. Like, I don't even care who you are. I'm done. I'm done. Yep. I don't want to see that at all.
Yeah. If what you're into doesn't resonate with me, I don't need to be seeing it all the time.
No. And one of my friends who is on Facebook all the time, who stalks everyone, will let me know how you're doing. Like I will find out if something crazy happens, but I don't need you in my life. And I think you can do that on so many levels. You can do it, you know, personally with people who are just no longer good for you. You can do it physically, get rid of some stuff. You got all these beautiful things for Christmas. Get rid of some of the old shit that's laying around that you don't wear and you don't want. And just getting rid of the bad mindsets as well. And the things that, it's amazing the things that actually inspire your mind. You may not realize that scrolling on Facebook and seeing all this kind of shitty energy is affecting you, but it is. It's what's really kind of setting the tone in your mind, even though it's someone else's energy. So cutting all that crap out, getting rid of all that kind of nonsense will make a beautiful path to 2019 to be one of the best years yet, for sure.
Absolutely. We all just have to be mindful of our energy, guys, on so many levels. So just keep in touch with yourself, you know, like focus on having a better relationship with you, you know, and the biggest thing as far as spirituality goes is going within. You know, there's no one that's going to get you there. You know, we can help to be mentors and guides on your way, but the only person that's going to get you there is you. And through your connection with yourself, your connection to spirit, your connection to the world around you and the universe. And it takes time, but you have to quiet your mind. If you are constantly on your phone, you are constantly watching TV, you constantly have distractions around you, you're never going to be able to really get to that place. You need to be able to sit in some quiet with yourself. You need to be able to enjoy your own company. You need to be able to be okay with being alone. You need to be confident, and you need to trust in yourself and trust in the universe that you're going to be okay and that you're strong enough, you're powerful enough and brave enough to do it on your own. And I think that's one of the overarching things is there's so many people that are hitting that place now. And I feel like, I don't know, the energy has just elevated and it's going to continue to elevate. January is going to be a really powerful month, and this is going to be a really powerful year, guys. So use it to the best of your ability, because this is the life this is the year that miracles can truly manifest in your life. You know, this is the year that you're making way for it. You're clearing out the bullshit. You're kind of spiritually feng shuiing your life and like removing all these obstacles and blockages and bullshit. So that way you're able to invite in the good and you're actually able to manifest it. You're actually able to follow through on it. You're actually able to create actionable goals for yourself and hold yourself accountable and hold the people in your life accountable. Stop
and make
taking
yourself
shit,
a priority.
guys.
Yeah. I'm so sick of hearing people saying that they don't have time for all this stuff. But when I ask them how much time you spend on Facebook, they manage to find an hour for Facebook a day, but don't have time to work out. That doesn't work anymore. That's not an excuse. That's not what the energy is anymore. You don't need that. That's not going to cut it for this year. Otherwise, you're going to be like that card and you're going to be exactly where you are now, or you can make some positive changes. And I'm really excited for all those who are joining us, all of those who are on the Charm Life, who are coming with us and kind of experiencing this year in a huge way. I'm so excited for that because we're going to make some fucking magic this year.
We're making magic happen. It's already in the works, guys. But we got to keep laying the solid framework.
Already happening.
Exactly. We just got to just stay the course, guys. That's the best thing that I can say is just trust and have faith and know that you're enough. And I don't know, just invite in abundant blessings. Be very mindful of the language that you use and the mindset that you were in. You know, if you were thinking and speaking from a place of it's already happening or it's already happened, that is so much more powerful than, well, if it happens, or I would like it to happen, or that would be great if it happens. Because then you're throwing in this sense of doubt, this sense of fear, this sense of, well, you know, you're making it a lofty goal instead of an achievable goal at the end of the day. Believe in yourselves a little bit, guys. I know that we all struggle in the self-confidence department, but it's time to knock it off. Like, it's awesome to be yourself. It's awesome to be different, you know? Like, the last thing that the world needs is another fake, phony shit. There's so much of it out there, guys. Like, we are just embedded in it. It is everywhere. It's the last thing the world needs. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Like, be yourself. I was thinking Ryan Reynolds, his mom and Just Friends. It's like one of my favorite Christmas movies. I just watched it. But it's true, guys. Like, just be authentically, unapologetically you. And that doesn't mean that you can just like run amok and cause chaos and not be accountable for your actions, but just don't be afraid to be yourself. Stop being so afraid of what people think. Stop being so afraid of like fitting into this perfect box and like this perfect societal image of like how your life should go, because none of it matters at the end of the day. Like, start really looking inward. Take some time for meditation. Take some time for exercise. Whatever it is that connects you in whatever way possible, whether it's just listening to music, you know, and chilling out for a little bit, whatever it is that resonates with you, feed your soul with what it needs so that you're able to really kind of process through some of those thoughts and emotions and understand what you need to do, what changes you actually need to make in your life to get to the next step.
Absolutely. I think that was so well said. I think we can end on that note. It was perfect.
I love you.
I love you too. And we love all you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We love doing these Wine Wednesdays and talking to you guys. If you're watching this on replay, don't worry. Go ahead, leave us comments. Talk to us. We'll talk back to you. That's kind of the way we work here. We love interacting with you guys. Leave us comments on what you want us to do Wine Wednesdays with. And join us every Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, whatever time that is for you in your time zone. Just join us because it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, just come hang out with us, guys. So we're going to have way more videos coming at you. We're going to have FAQ sessions coming at you all the time. That's what our Charmed Life members, you know, that's one of the best features. So if you guys really have questions, if you guys really want to learn a lot, it's a great way to kind of dive in and really utilize us as mentors on your journey. So we'd love to hear from you guys.
Absolutely. We hope you all have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.